Hey, welcome back. This is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com and datingfire.com. You know, it's kind of a cliche, but one of the questions every woman wants to ask is he thinking about me? And sometimes, what is he thinking? Well, that's what we're going to cover today in this video. Hey, and before the fireworks start happening, make sure you do the big three. What are they? Make sure you like and subscribe to the videos. Make sure you turn on notifications, that little bell indicator, so you know when the next one's coming out. And of course, leave me your questions and comments below. Yep, we are going to cover the signs that say he is thinking about you because, well, you know that you're thinking about him, but that's the part that's got you obsessing, right? You want to flip the tables and make him obsessed about you just as much as you are with him. You might be interested in him, thinking about him, and wondering if he's interested in you. You might be dating him and wondering if he's feeling or thinking the same thing that you are. Or you might have broken up and now you want your ex back. Whatever the situation, it's important to know where his head is at and what he's thinking about you when you're dating, right? But how do you know if he's thinking about you? Is it true? Or is it something that made him stop thinking about you? Well, let's start with sign number one. He's a social media stud. If this guy is thinking about you, he's going to find reasons to contact you and find out what's going on with you, which means he's probably going to stalk you a little bit on social media. And it doesn't matter if you're 21 or 101 years old. Everyone's online these days. Even if he's not on Pinterest or Snapchat or whatever comes next, you can bet he'll be out there making contact on at least Facebook, right? I mean, I have one of my distant aunts that's 80-something years old, and she's posting all the time, like crazy all the time on Facebook. So yeah, you're gonna see him posting on social media. Sign number two is likes everywhere. You're also going to notice the activity on social networks starts to pick up once you connect with him. He's going to be tagging, liking, commenting. He's going to be commenting on your posts and stuff on your wall, just all that stuff while he's thinking about you. When you wonder, is he thinking about me? One side is him wanting you to notice him. That's really what you're going to notice from him. Another part is going to be him wanting to stake his claim with you as early as possible. Yeah, guys start getting really territorial and possessive the second there's any interest on his part, so watch for that. The next sign is he's foaming at the FOMO. Well, you might have heard the term FOMO, right? It's an acronym for fear of missing out. It was coined by basically just to describe how people behave these days with their smartphones. Now that we're all so darn connected, we live in this weird state of being afraid of missing out on what's going on with other people. Well, this is especially true in dating. Guys get this way when it comes to a woman that they're interested in dating. In the beginning, you'll see them viewing, checking things, even being really responsive on texts that you send, which unfortunately sets you up for a false expectation later on that he's going to keep up all that texting, right? He won't, sorry to tell you, but enjoy it while it lasts. The next sign is he thinks in the deep end. One of the signs that a guy is only into you for the sex is that he's never really interested in learning more about you. He just stays superficial. Conversely, if he asks you a lot of deep and thought-provoking questions about you, well, you can pretty much guess that he's actually thinking about you quite a bit. Guys ask more questions of women that they're interested in. He wants to get to know you and understand you. And you should really think about this next dating tip, which is number 5, what makes you smile? See, when a guy is really into you and he's thinking about you a lot, when he asks you questions about what makes you happy. A man's priority in life for the woman he's interested in is to make her happy. Okay, he'll do whatever he can to achieve that goal. That's all he'll think about when he's dating you. And he might also give you the advice to get you out of a stuck place in your life. That's another way that guys try and make you happy. If your man doesn't seem to care about whether you're happy or not, well, there's a good chance he's already checked out. So when he's focused on your happiness, he's thinking about you and him in a relationship. Next sign is Touchy Feely. One of the biggest signs of a guy being interested in you and thinking about you is what he does when you greet him in person. If he goes for a hug or a peck on the cheek every time, you can be pretty sure this guy is physically attracted to you and he likes you. Men are very touchy-feely with women since we don't have the same amount of physical contact with other people, well, that women typically do. And one of the signs of a man's desire is how much he wants to touch the things in life that he finds beautiful. Guys just can't resist that. And again, keep in mind, I don't have the space to cover every single tip and sign in this particular video, but you can always go to the site, datingadviceguru.com, to check it out. Sign number 8 is Mr. Helpy. Now, I mentioned that one of the ways a guy shows you he's into you is that he'll want to help you in your life. This is one that you have to be careful about because you might feel like he's doing that guy thing by trying to fix you, and you might even be tempted to be offended at his gesture, and that would be a big mistake. Here's a really, really important dating tip for you. One of the ways men demonstrate love and affection is by trying to help you move forward with your goals. It's one of his natural love languages. He'll probably volunteer his help for something that you may casually mention to him in passing, like maybe your car isn't running well and he wants to help you out with that. There are a lot of women out there who view this essentially masculine behavior as being kind of offensive and intrusive. Don't be fooled into thinking this is some kind of arrogant fix-her routine or behavior on his part. He's definitely into you. The next sign is he's pinging. The term ping came from the days back when radar and sonar were how we could detect enemy airplanes and submarines. You knew something was there in the water or in the air because a radar station or a submarine would send out this ping signal, and they would wait to see if it got reflected back. If it did, well, there was something out there that it must have reflected from, and something you had to keep your eye on. When a guy pings you, he'll send you a text out of nowhere, or he might send you an email, or even call you. But what he's really doing, no matter what he says, is he's trying to remind you of him, because he is thinking about you. That's right, if he seems to be trying to get you to think about him, he's definitely thinking about you as well. Next sign is not so silent. Sometimes you might have gotten just right out of a relationship with a guy and you're wondering if he's still thinking about you and the relationship. You might even want to get back together with him. If you're in the early stages of a breakup, especially one that maybe he initiated, he broke up with you, and you find that he's reaching out to you to connect or ask questions, he's probably not over with you yet, and he's probably wondering what's going on with you. Guys won't ever just come out and say what they're really thinking, just like women, come on. So you have to be able to read between the lines and know what's true. The next sign is they already know. If you've ever gone out on a date and you meet him for dinner and drinks with his friends, pay attention to how well they seem to know who you are. They may even know some details about you. Don't let that weird you out. If they seem to know more about you than you know about them, you can bet he's been talking you up to them, and that means he's got you on his mind. Next sign, he juggles. Men are usually very keen to keep up their schedule. They want to keep to their schedule. It gives us a feeling of solidarity and consistency if we can keep a routine that actually works. So when a guy makes room for you in his calendar, or even better, he juggles or reschedules or moves things around to accommodate you and fit you in, you could be pretty sure you're in his thoughts. He's inconveniencing his schedule to make room for you. Next sign is he changes his status. This one is relevant to Facebook as well as any online dating sites you two might be on together. If you notice that he's changed his status to report something harder to interpret, he might not say in a relationship, but he might just change it to something different, especially after he's just met you or been in contact with you a little bit. Well, he's probably thinking about you. He's probably thinking about possibilities the same way that you would fantasize about that. He's sending a true signal out to the world that he's got feelings for someone, probably you. And hey, here's the crazy one. The last one is he actually tells you. I know, this one's nuts, but it happens all the time in dating. If a guy has you on his mind, he's going to let it slip that he's thinking about you. Guys don't have the same filters that most women do when it comes to disclosing certain feelings. In fact, this is one of the ways that a guy will communicate his feelings, by telling you his thoughts. He might do this on purpose to see what your reaction is. He's just testing the dating waters to see if you react positively or not to it. And this is because he'd rather see a negative reaction, if there is one, right now so that he could avoid rejection later on when he has to get more assertive and possibly ask you out. And wait a second, you might be wondering, what is he thinking of me? Because after you find out that this guy has you on his mind, the next question to answer is, what is he thinking about you? And you don't need a tarot card reading to tell you this. A guy is usually thinking positive things about a woman that he's interested in. If he's not interested in you, he's not thinking about you. The first thing that comes to a guy's mind when he's thinking about you is your face, your eyes, and your smile. You see, men tend to focus their daydreams on the visible parts of you that give them the most joy to replay in their mind. They rewind and replay that little tape, that disc in their head. And this is usually your face and your expressions of happiness. Your eyes are usually a key focal point for our attention, so we'll remember that clearly. And this is one reason you want to have your makeup and hair done really well for those first few dates. Yeah, you knew there was a reason for this, right? And yeah, this is especially true if you're trying to get back together with your ex. The next thing that comes to our mind will be your overall appearance. We men tend to remember you in terms of the abstract, so he'll recall your overall appearance. Things like what you were wearing when we saw you, or what we noticed about your body, you know, boobs, butt, legs, arms, neck, that sort of thing. How you moved, your walk, your talk, your expressions with your hands, and of course, the sounds of your voice. And finally, we will remember how we felt around you. Men place a premium, a high importance on the vibe we get when we're near you. Things like, were you upbeat and positive? Were you calm or excited? Were you warm and accepting, or were you cold and critical? Were you curious, asking us questions, or were you stuck talking about your own life and your own problems? Most men don't tell women that all this complicated processes is going on inside them because we're usually only partially aware of it ourselves. One of the most important discoveries about the women who really manage to be themselves and get the relationship that they want is that they don't stand around waiting on any guy. They're not waiting around for something to happen. The women who consistently get the men and the relationships that every woman desires are willing to understand why men do what they do and why they choose the women they do. If you'd like to discover the secret ways that men think about women, right, and relationships and love, you owe it to yourself to figure out how men think and how to read his signals. And you can find out all that great stuff by just getting on my newsletter. Get a free VIP subscription to my newsletter. See this little link below me here? That's right. Go to datingfire.com/free. And I'll even send you a free gift as your starter gift for getting on the newsletter list. You'll get a free ebook and video from me. So go on over, check it out at datingfire.com/free. And of course, don't run away yet. Do that big 3 before you run off. If you really like this video, hey, come on, like it and subscribe to it because you know you're going to want more. And then turn on the notifications so you know when next week's comes out. And of course, leave me your questions and comments below, or even go to the site and ask me your questions there. Hey, this is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com and datingfire.com. As always, live and love with passion.